Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Grace Alana, Grace the astrologer. Today's video is going to be breaking down what it means to have Venus in the 10th house. So, the 10th house is the house in astrology that is associated with your career, your public image, your reputation, and Venus is a planet that's associated with beauty, charm, grace, class, creativity, relationships, aesthetics, sex, fun, pleasure, joy. Venus is everything that's fun, beautiful, and aesthetically pleasing. So that being said, if you have Venus in the 10th house, this can definitely add charm, pleasure, beauty, and relationship energy to your, again, career, reputation, or your overall public life. Venus here is considered a fortunate placement because at the end of the day, Venus is a benefic. So having a positive planet in the 10th house of career can definitely bring positive energy to your career, your public image, or your reputation. Now, when it comes to your career, somebody who has Venus in the 10th house can definitely be seen as somebody who's charming, somebody who's likable, somebody who is very approachable when it comes to your professional life. You're probably somebody who your coworkers and your bosses, and even if you're working in a customer-oriented job or space, you're probably the go-to. You're probably somebody who is really likable and people really like you and they want to work with you or connect with you when it comes to your job. And in general, being that Venus is the planet of relationships and connectivity, this can show that like work opportunities for you can potentially come through networking, come through personal relationships, or even potentially romantic partners. People who have Venus in the 10th house often end up getting involved with their coworkers, or maybe they meet their person at work or something related to that. And in general, of course, this can tie your career to Venusian themes. So beauty, arts, fashion, entertainment, diplomacy, public relation, working in luxury industries are all things that would be fitting for somebody with this placement. And people with Venus in this house often gain favor over authority figures or become well known for their grace, their style, or maybe their artistic contributions to the world at large. So this could be somebody who is really easy for them to get things from people because they're likable or they're charming, or they could sweet talk people when it comes to professional roles. Like I could see somebody with Venus in the 10th house really knowing the art of finesse and knowing how to get ahead and to, I don't want to necessarily say take advantage of people. Yes, somebody with Venus in the 10th house could very well easily take advantage of people in relationship settings. But nonetheless, this can bring some of that energy there. Even thinking about Venus representing love and relationships, Venus in the 10th house can definitely speak to a relationship being very public, or even that the status in a relationship might be publicly visible to a lot of people. And I could see somebody with Venus in the 10th house having their romantic partnerships and relationships having an effect on their public standing or their reputation or how they're seen in the world at large. So for example, this is the person who might get into like a relationship scandal, or this could be somebody whose relationships are very public in general, or maybe like an internet couple or something like that. And again, these can be positively affected by their person, or it could be negatively affected by their person or their relationship. Also, having Venus in the 10th house can definitely make people admire or maybe potentially be envious of your relationship. Or even, again, you can be somebody who can attract partners or a lot of people that can help you elevate your social standing. That's common. And again, there's often a blending when it comes to love and career, such as meeting partners through work, or again, maybe even being drawn to people who have status and influence, because again, the 10th house is the house of fame. The 10th house is the house that represents authority and status, and again, being seen on a larger scale. So a lot of that energy would definitely make sense. With this placement, this can speak to somebody having a natural ability to be liked and to attract goodwill from the public. People are naturally inclined to see you in a positive light. So that's good because, again, people like you. They want to support you. They want to be around you. They want to connect with you. You might be known for your style. You might be known for your artistry, or even for bringing harmony and peace and connecting people when it comes to your public facing role or your job or the spaces that you're in. And when it comes to your reputation, this might bring like a pleasant, a really nice, charming, beautiful, or even thinking about like an aesthetic quality to how you are seen. People can often associate you with luxury, with beauty, with refinement, with good taste, with things that are nice overall. Now, some challenges. This could definitely, like I said, show up as somebody who might rely too much on charm or finesse than actually having substance in your career. This could be the person who skates through life or skates through their jobs or gets promoted because of the people that they know, not necessarily because they actually know how to do their job. Even again, with your relationships having the potential to be public, this could bring a risk of being judged for your personal relationships if they become too public or too closely tied to your relationship or your reputation. And you have to figure out a way to even maybe kind of sometimes, depending on how this may play out, have your own identity outside of a relationship or have your own identity outside of your partner potentially. And again, this can also cause disconnect when it comes to separating your love from your work or from your ambition. Your partnerships can often impact your professional choices heavily. So you have to be mindful of yourself and what you want, not necessarily just your partner or what your partner's ideas are or what your partner wants or how your partner is seen or perceived or however that may manifest. So yeah, that is a quick rundown on what it could mean to have Venus in the 10th house. Now, I want to get into some careers that could be good for somebody who has Venus in the 10th house, or even you could apply this to some of the things that I'm saying can also be applied to having Venus ruling the 10th house, but especially this career part you can apply to having Venus in the 10th house or having Venus rule the 10th house. But before we get into it, moonroadmommy.com to book a birth chart reading. If you have any questions about yourself, your career, your Venus placement, whatever, anything astrology related you have a question about, I can answer if it is something within my domain. Also, follow me on other platforms. I am Moon Road Mommy on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of the things. So if you want to connect with me outside of this platform, go follow me. And also go subscribe to my Patreon channel, because on Patreon, I post horoscopes and transit breakdowns. I post notes for some of my videos that I do on TikTok and also on here. And if you become a paid member for $15 a month, you get access to exclusive readings. And also you get one monthly mini personal reading that I can pull a card or answer doing a mini chart pull. So tap in. Now, again, having Venus in the 10th house can really make your career be associated with charm, aesthetics, relationships, and diplomacy is important. And these things and connecting in these areas can really help you rise to the top. It's one of those placements that naturally attracts opportunities through visibility and networking. And in general, again, creative, thinking of Venus, love, pleasure, money, beauty, aesthetics, art, joy. These are all fields and realms that would make sense for you to work in. So even starting with Venus being creativity, which is, I would think, what most people associate Venus with. No, I lied. It's love or money. But anyways, working in a creative or aesthetic focus field. So being a fashion designer, a stylist, a model, a beauty influencer, a makeup artist, working in the cosmetic industry, doing hair, doing nails, anything like that. Being an interior decorator, a designer, an architect, anything where you have to put things together, even being like a graphic designer would be something that makes sense for somebody who has Venus in the 10th house. Even thinking about being an artist, a musician, an actor, a dancer, or a performer, especially if Venus is in a sign that is like Libra or Taurus or Pisces or something like that. Again, because Venus is relationships and connectivity, working in a public facing or a diplomatic role would make sense for somebody with Venus in the 10th house. Being in public relations, being a public figure, being a spokesperson, being a brand ambassador, being a social media influencer, a content creator, a TV personality, being a diplomat, a negotiator, or a mediator, somebody who is able to connect people and smooth out tensions with charm. working in a area related to like luxury, hospitality, or even the lifestyle industries, an event planner, a wedding coordinator, a party organizer, working in luxury or fancy industries. So like jewelry, perfume, fashion houses, fine dining, travel, hospitality management, hotel, resorts, or spa leadership, or doing anything really where you're doing something with people as a whole. Even thinking about advisory or like service oriented careers, because again, that people aspect, being a counselor or a therapist, especially if it relates to something like relationships or self-esteem or even money, human resources or even talent acquisition, working with people and reputations at large, being a consultant as it pertains to branding, image, or even like an etiquette person, or like, I don't know what the proper term is, but I'm thinking about like a charm school, or like even working in like pageantry or like cotillions or anything related to that, like a etiquette coach. I don't know if that's the right word. Or even money, working with money, because again, Venus is money. Business partnerships, especially related to like beauty, art, design, or working in the lifestyle industry. Careers that thrive on sponsorships, collaborations, or connections as a whole. Creative entrepreneurship, where the reputation is the brand, especially thinking about something where personal branding could be huge. I just had a crazy thought and I lost it. I hope it comes back to me. Let me pause this and come back. I remember now. Thinking about Venus and the connection with love, working in a space like maybe being like a matchmaker, or working in the romance space. And I know I mentioned like being an event planner or a wedding planner or something like that, but even something centered on like relationships or people and love and connectivity as a whole. And also something else that I forgot to mention, Venus is your values. Venus is what you enjoy. So like you could do something, if you have Venus in the 10th house, do something that is based on your values, based on something that you really love or care about, or even doing something that relates to your values, or doing something that you really are drawn to, because Venus represents your desires. Venus represents your passions. Venus is associated with hobbies and things like that. So also doing work that you love at the end of the day, doing something that you really care about. So yeah, that is my quick little rundown on what it means to have Venus in the 10th house. Do you have Venus in your 10th house? Does this resonate with you? Comment below and let me know. And yeah, subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel. I try to drop videos every week. Does that always happen? No, but I'm working on it. And yeah, link in bio to book a reading, moonworldmommy.com. I will also put that in the description. Go follow me on all of the socials. And thank you so much for watching. Love you guys down, and I'll see you in the next video.